Historic Cliff Lift was officially reopened today following a £650,000 refurbishment. The 98-year-old lift is one of only 26 in the country, will make it easier for people to travel between the seafront and the Clifftown Conservation Area. It needed major structural work to replace corroded steel sections. Restorers say they've stayed true to the 1912 style while meeting 21st century safety standards.
A collection of books once owned by a famous naturalist from Norfolk is being put up for auction. More than 2,000 books belonging to Ted Ellis will go under the hammer in Elsham on Thursday. The writer and broadcaster, who died in 1986, devoted his life to studying natural history. The collection is likely to fetch more than £10,000.
To be able to sort of go through all the books in the library and sort of carefully sort of note any little annotations that he made and any little sort of jottings. I mean, it's been a pleasure to catalogue it.
The world-famous Norfolk rose grower Peter Beale, who we featured on last night's programme, has won his 18th gold medal at the Chelsea Flower Show. This year, his company's stand featured semi-mature trees adorned with climbing and rambling roses, including a new rose called the Beatrix Potter, which was introduced by the actress Patricia Routledge. And a garden designed by Ben Wincott, a lecturer at Writtle College in Chelmsford, has won a bronze award, so well done to him as well.
Now, all this week, we're remembering the Dunkirk evacuation as the 70th anniversary approaches this Thursday.
Thousands of Allied troops may have been rescued, but for one battalion, there was to be no escape. Away from the beaches at Dunkirk, 100 or so soldiers from the Royal Norfolk Regiment were fighting a valiant rearguard action in the village of Paradis.
They surrendered after running out of ammunition, only to be shot dead by the SS. But against all odds, 2 survived and fought tirelessly after the war to bring the commander to justice. Malcolm Robertson has the story of the massacre in Paradis.
Each and every day a simple act of remembrance. In the chapel of St Saviour at Norwich Cathedral, a single page is turned in memory of those from Norfolk killed during the Second World War. With a focus on the remarkable rescue of British troops from the beaches at Dunkirk in 1940, those days in late May also resonate for a much more sinister reason: the slaughter of almost 100 soldiers from the Royal Norfolk Regiment who were in the process of surrendering to a German unit 40 miles south of Dunkirk.
To each and all the vergers here at the Cathedral who do this job on a daily basis, I think it's a poignant reminder of how much we owe to all of these people for the way we're able to live in our freedom today.
Trying to prevent the Germans reaching Dunkirk, they were gunned down and left to die outside a barn on a French farm.
What happened on that fateful Monday afternoon, May the 27th, 1940, in the small village of Paradis, is chronicled here at the Royal Norfolk Regimental Museum. And the world might never have got to know about the atrocity had it not been for the courage and the tenacity of 2 soldiers who amazingly survived the massacre.
While 97 of their mates were slain, Bill O'Callaghan and Bert Pooley pretended to be dead. Interviewed by Anglia television in 1970 as he returned to the field where the shootings took place, Bill recalled those horrific moments.
I suddenly realised that we were going to be murdered, and I dived down. One bullet caught me in the arm, and I lay with my face in a bunch of thistles. I just froze. I didn't dare move a muscle. Then someone was shaking me, and I found that somebody else had lived through it. It was Bert Pooley. His leg had been very, very badly shot up.
For 2 days they hid in the village, in a pigsty on a farm belonging to Madame Creton. She looked after them and helped them escape, although both were later captured and taken prisoners of war. 70 years on, Dennis O'Callaghan still has his father's wartime diary, although the entries he would have kept during those awful days had been removed because he would have feared reprisals if the diary had fallen into enemy hands.
They ran out of ammunition and they had to surrender. And Major Ryder decided with a show of hands to surrender, and obviously everyone thought they would go into a prisoner of war camp, but within a matter of hours of surrendering, they were all dead. They were massacred in a field of death.
At his home near King's Lynn, Dennis O'Callaghan is determined to keep alive the memory of what happened at Le Paradis. Those tragic events of May the 27th, 1940, became the subject of a 1962 film, The Vengeance of Private Pooley. It was rather wide of the mark. Bill O'Callaghan's name was changed to Carter, and in the film, he was killed. And the SS commander who gave the orders to shoot was known as Frost. In reality, it was Fritz Knochlein, but it was assumed the name was altered to protect his family in Germany. When the war was over, Pooley and O'Callaghan were determined to bring him to book. Initially, they struggled to find anyone who would take their claims seriously, but mainly through the efforts of Bert Pooley, Knochlein eventually appeared before a war crimes court, and on January the 28th, 1949, he was executed in Hamburg. A man who'd ordered the killings of 97 unarmed British soldiers, buried first of all in a French field before their remains were exhumed and placed in the village cemetery in Le Paradis. O'Callaghan, who came from Durham in Norfolk, and Pooley from London, are both now dead, but their memory lives on. And what they achieved in life was to gain some kind of justice for the families of brave colleagues killed in cold blood. Families who will return to Le Paradis this week to mark the 70th anniversary of their deaths. Families for whom an association with Dunkirk 1940 will always be a very sad one. Malcolm Robertson, Anglia News.
Well, it is an extraordinary story there, and we're going to have more from Malcolm Robertson tomorrow when we'll continue our anniversary coverage. He'll be reporting live from Ramsgate. That's where the little ships from our region will be preparing for the commemorative journey back to Dunkirk on Thursday. That's 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. Don't miss it.
Now it's time to see what's coming up in the rest of the news hour in just a couple of minutes.
Yep, those stories coming up with Mary shortly. Now let's get that all-important weather, shall we? Here's Rachel.
Good evening. Well, it has been a much cooler day today than it has been over the past couple of days, but it stayed dry. Now, it's quite a change into tomorrow. We are at risk of some quite heavy...
And that's all we've got time for this evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Of course, we'll do it all again tomorrow.
Look forward to that. See you then. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.